Hey guys, what's going on? It's your boy Lax, and today we are back with some more World Cup of Qualifiers coverage. And I gotta say, this tournament round continues to amaze and impress me. Like, the level of play here, it's pretty unprecedented, I would say, in comparison to previous World Cup of Pokemon qualifiers. That means everybody's getting good, everybody's learning SVOU, which you love to see. Love to see the competition getting a little higher. Now today we have Crocop 93 representing Team Vietnam versus Kaneki-san representing Team Asia. So a little intercontinent beef going on here. If I were to briefly glance at the matchup on Team Preview, Kaneki's Dragapult and Iron Moth, if it's like an offensive Dragapult with Shadow Ball, like a Specs or a Life Orb, that has absolutely zero switch-ins if you combine that with like having Darts or Draco Meteor as well. Like nothing on Crocop's team can switch into that. So, and also the Iron Moth on his team looks really strong too. Like imagine a Terra Ground Iron Moth into this matchup. You basically force Wogerpon to Terra as well, which you can chip with Primarina catching it on Moonblast for something like that, or a D-Knight E-Speed on a U-turn or something like that. So a lot of avenues for Kaneki-san to really pull through with his hyper offense team. On Crocop's side, Wogerpon looks really strong. Like with Terra and U-turn and Play Rough, like I guess you kind of need all of those because you don't want to take that Dragonite E-Speed, you don't want to take that Dragonite EQ. So you'll have to find a way to chip Dragonite, probably by switching in your Rocky Helm Corviknight. But besides that, Raging Bolt looks really strong. Only one ground type that, you know, obviously Tusk isn't a Specs Raging Bolt switch in or something like that. But it does require you to make correct plays. So I would say this matchup is probably leaning towards Kaneki because of that Dragapult and Iron Moth I mentioned. That being said, Crocop can really bounce back by keeping momentum up. He's got a lot of U-turn guys, a lot of parting shot, Volt Switch, so we'll see how it goes. And, you know, like we always say, Tex and SVOU special sets are the key. And if we see some of those, which I'm going to tell you right now, we are going to see those, then stuff is about to get crazy. So let's begin. All right, to start us off, we have Corv coming in versus Deoxys, which is, I think, a pretty standard lead. It's a pretty free U-turn for something like Corv. Goes for U-turn, so Deoxys reveals that it is rocks, but it's like a 3 attacks rock set. And instead of clicking Psycho Boost here, we go for a Superpower, which Cinderace reveals to be offensive, so I think that actually might have been a misplay. Primarina comes on a great Tusk, pretty free Moonblast, and what? Guys, wait. Let's not gloss over something real quick. Let me hover over this. Covert Cloak was knocked off. Mirror Armor. Guys, this is technology from when the generation just dropped and people were spamming Combine Hatterena with Mystical Fire. So people would use Mirror Armor on Corviknight. But then you have Covert Cloak. Wait, what? What is Covert Cloak for? Is it like your guard counter? Like you just Iron Defense up? You're not defog on this, your Roost, Iron Defense, Press, U-turn? I don't know, but they're cooking something. But it's really funny that the Deoxys knocks off... Oh, it's not Life Orb, it's Rocky Helmet. Okay. So the Deoxys knocks off the Corv, which lets the Moonblast drop the Primarina, which forces his Primarina to switch out. That's a really funny sequence of events. Iron Moth comes in pretty early. I actually would have liked to see a little more damage and setup from the rest of the team, but with Corv this low, I think that makes sense actually, because Iron Moth is the best way to keep something like Corv low. So goes, whoa, spoilers. What just happened? Okay, so flip turn, Iron Moth, great U-turn to keep up the momentum, brings in Raging Bolt. So as Kaneki, this is not ideal. Like it really looks like a Specs Raging Bolt, right? Like look how much U-turn is on this team. 5 out of 6 of the team could potentially have a momentum move. So so bringing Raging Bolt here means I'm probably dropping a Draco or I'm clicking Volt Switch because Iron Moth without a boost is pretty weak, which is why I don't like bringing Iron Moth in actually. But I understand the play because it's the main way he can pressure Corv, it seems. Like maybe he's a Dragon Dance Bolt, but we see Terra Ground revealed on Sludge Wave to knock out the biggest threat on his team. And you know how Blunder always says, like, never exhaust. In this case, I mean, looking at the team, I don't mind the exhaust. Like, Raging Bolt trades into everything perfectly now. Like, Primarina's the main threat, but you still have Wogerpon and Petch. Sax Corv, does he get another drop? Oh my god. Wait, does Mirror Armor, like, make drop chances, like, happen all the time because it benefits you? I don't know, but goes for a Play Rough predicting D-Knight or Pull to come in. Turns out they're just sacking Primarina. It's fine. Dragon Bolt comes in, clicks darts at 85. If you're max attack Bolt, then you would be able to kill. But it actually reveals Life Orb and Wisp, which makes me think it's probably the mixed Shadow Ball set, or it could be a Dragon Dance set. So I kind of understand. I think that makes more sense actually, because you would expect the Ogerpon to stay in and prevent a Dragon Dance, so that's why he goes for Darts instead. Bringing Tusken means that, and not clicking Shadow Ball into a low HP Tusk probably means that you're not Shadow Ball. But this is a crazy play because, oh my god, this guy is nasty. Watch out for Team Vietnam, guys, because you bring in Cinderace here, you're basically like, guys, I have Sucker Punch. You're not staying in on Sucker Punch, which is exactly what happens. Kaneki predicts the Sucker Punch, so when Cinderace turns Libero, changes typing, when you click Sucker Punch, you're the first move that goes. So even if Sucker Punch fails to connect, you become a Dark type, which allows Bolt to Wisp you, which is what Kaneki was going for. Crocop makes a crazy read though, and just says, yeah, you're not respecting it, or you are respecting it. I'm just gonna attack you. So now, Tusk trades with Cinderace. Game is looking a little bleak, but guys, when there's a Dragonite, there's a way. It's a Terra used already on Crocop's side. This game could really come down to the wire, depending on this Dragonite set. Reveals Ground. Gets a crit. But now D-Knight finishes Ogerpon off, and what's gonna happen here? Because Raging Bolt being Terra Blast could imply that it's not actually Draco or Dragon Pulse or something like that. It could be like Volt, or not Volt, Calm Mind, Clap, Terra Blast, Thunderbolt, or it could be Dragon move over Thunderbolt, something like that. But I'm pretty sure Bolt loses this trade because I'm pretty sure Dragonite has enough natural bulk to eat the Draco or something like that. Let's see what happens. So Pedge comes in, and Dragonite D-dances again on the Malignant Chain. It does not get the poison off. Okay. So Dragonite gets an EQ, which should knock it out, except Petron is the greatest Pokemon of all time. Let's actually get a calc in real quick. Guys, are we seeing this? Earthquake minimum does 99.4, and it did 99% in the game. But if you make this Jolly, which I think is probably pretty used on it, it's actually a 43.8% roll. So either way, it's actually about a 50-50 roll if you factor in the odds to get a crit or the odds to get the roll. And this is max defense Petron. The fact that it can eat a Terra Ground Earthquake is actually ridiculous to me. But yeah, that's what happens. And it lets the Petron parting shot into Bolt. But you know, this is still not looking too good. Like, you can just EQ again here. Oh, but he goes for Dragon. Oh my. Guys. What? Okay. How much does EQ do? It does 85. Oh my god. Wait, so that means if you EQ on this turn at +1, you do about 57%. And then Lefties doesn't bring it healthy enough to survive the next one. But I think not knowing Raging Bolt's bulk, like the stat spread, because it was unrevealed only from Sludge Wave, some Raging Bolts like to invest in defense. So I think if Kaneki calcs that +1 has a roll to miss the 2 KO because of like some defense investment on Bolt, I think that can kind of trip you out and kind of scare you. But that being said, this is pretty crazy. I think the endgame might have been fumbled a little bit. I think Timer could have showed up a bit more to really calc it out, because I think Raging Bolt needs a lot of defense investment in order to live a +1 EQ from both times. But yeah, I don't know. That's a really tough one. The game is really close. Obviously, Draco was probably a roll anyways, considering D-Knight lived on 1% HP. So I'm kind of doubting that it was even like a problem in the first place. That being said, Raging Bolt itself could have come in on Dragonite at +2 and just naturally eaten it, and then Draco would always knock it out because it didn't have the leftovers from Petch being in, right? Is that correct? No, because it's at 82. Never mind. Okay, we're good. But yeah, this was an absurd game to start it off. Like, I don't know. So many techs here. What is Mirror Armor, Cover Cloak? World may never know, but it's really heat, and Raging Bolt has Terra Ground here, which with Blast, which you never ever see. In fact, you see people counter Raging Bolt with their own Terra Ground Blast, so you never expect to see on their side. But that was a really close game. Really came down to some percentages. Like if Petch didn't live there, it's a guaranteed win for Kaneki. But Petch living, depending on its spread of Dragonite, like it's really crazy. Next, we have a really cool hyper offense team from Ultraman Ball. Great name, by the way. But I wanted to showcase this because it just looks really cool. Like he's got 3 of the Paradox Mons on his team, and then he's got Lando, because you know every team needs Lando on hyper offense usually. Then he's got Deoxys for maybe hazards, maybe offensive life orb or nasty plot, and then you just got Wogerpon. And I just thought this was a really cool structure because remember when we ranked Iron Crown like C rank? That's my guy though. I think he can prove things bigly in this matchup because it's looking like either Assault Vest or Calm Mind. And either way, I think he can put in some work here. So let's get started. On JJ's side, he's using a team made by Lily and SPL. It's an unaware Clef team, I believe, so that's a great matchup into some kind of hyper offense setup spam. Gliscor looks really good long game. The only thing that looks like it could really touch it is like a CC Valiant, Close Combat Valiant, or a Focus Blast on Iron Crown. So maybe you could Terra Gliscor, go for the long con. Weavile also looks really strong. If you ever burn the Iron Valiant booster energy to lose the speed boost, then Weavile kind of goes crazy. So let's see what happens. Okay, gets the great lead. Ogerpon into Tinglu. That's a free Ivy Cudgel to break the multi-scale. Dragonite roosts up. Okay, understandable. Now Rocks come out. Now Taunt comes out, I presume. Yep. So JJ knows Taunt's coming out. Goes for Sod. Gets a decent amount of chip. Can really set up the Dragonite later, which also looks pretty good. So Valiant comes in early. Reveals that it's special attack booster instead of speed booster. So that's why he's not preserving it. He's just like, alright, Gliscor, he recognizes Gliscor is a major threat. And he wants to get really good chip on that. JJ makes a nice play, not respecting the Calm Mind to come out there. Healing up completely, and then going for a Sod. Alright, but Gliscor is low now, and I did mention that Gliscor looked pretty good, so... Ooh. That's a really aggressive play. I think JJ09 on this side is not respecting that this could be Swords Dance Ogerpon at all. Anticipating some kind of U-turn or play rough knockoff set. So he's not really he's not giving that any due respect. But he does have an unaware Clef in the back, which gets to a KO'd. Let's run a calc for that as well. Okay, so it is revealed to be Adamant Ogerpon, which a lot of people have been running nowadays, similar to how Roaring Moon has really been bulking out and being really slow. Keep an eye out on this, guys. Your U-turn Wogerpons will beat these SD Ogerpons because they all be running Swords Dance. Take note of that. But it is a 40% chance to 2-hit KO, but it's with crit chance, so that really brings up the odds to not favor JJ at all. And also, like, what is Clef going to do for it? You can Thunder Wave, but you're going to be outsped anyway, so it doesn't even matter. It could matter for the long term, though, of having a paired Wogerpon, of course. But the odds are just not in his favor enough to, like, kind of make excuses for it. Lando here, I assume, would just U-turn out. Yep. Good Corv to bring the chip on, but now Raging Bolt is in. Free Tinglu. Dragon Pulse just bounces off. 26. Goes for Taunt. Taunt on EQ. Okay. I actually was about to say I like Taunt if this clicks Stealth Rocks or something, because I think my greedy ass would always click Stealth Rocks here. So, Raging Bolt will get taken out, which just frees Wogerpon back in, though. And looking at the rest of the team, Corviknight's about to get 2-hit KO'd. Dragonite's about to die to a potential play rough, which Swords Dance Wogerpon often is nowadays. Here, I would probably just spam Cudgel. Yeah, that's doing a lot. 41. So you basically take each other out. Deoxys comes in. This set could be a big deal. Shadow Ball Life Orb probably implies that it's a what's it called? Nasty Plot set. Weavile comes in. What Weavile comes in tells me is that this Weavile's about to Terra, because you gotta respect fighting move from Deoxys. There's no way you don't respect it. So I would expect Terra Ghost to come out here from Weavile, or even Terra Poison to try to catch the fighting move. And looking at the rest of this game, Tinglu's pretty low, but it lives enough to Whirlwind and Iron Crown potentially. Gliscor is basically useless, gonna die to everything. Although it still walls Lando, so you can keep that. Ultraman Ball respects the Terra completely. Great play bringing Landorus in, forcing this to take a chip damage from Rocky Helm as well. Now brings in Iron Crown. What this tells me is Iron Crown is maybe Fairy. I don't know if you would bring Ground in versus Weavile. Like, that seems pretty risky. Could be Fighting. Could be like Fire Blast or something too. But he reveals Fighting. Calm Minds here. Yeah, I guess you would just... Yeah, I mean, you're going to chew a -1 hit from everything. So you're just going to send a Focus Blast. Even if you miss, you're probably fine. Here, if you miss here though, low-key, it could be scary. Well, because you would have to connect every Focus Blast from both these two guys looking at it. Like, if you miss versus Ting Lu, it Whirlwinds in Deoxys. You have to click Focus Blast as Deoxys. And if you miss as Deoxys again, you kind of just lose because he can just EQ spam. I mean, you can connect more Focus Blasts, but you hate these kind of end games where you have to connect a move such as Focus Blast. But luckily, it does connect and the game is finished from there on out. That about wraps it up for my highlights. Coming into this weekend, there's going to be a lot of games. Now we're going to go over standings real quick. So we got Portugal at the top, 6-0. Very impressive. I remember I put them as like a middle of the pack of the newer teams. Excuse my throat. And then Argentina, Netherlands, Mexico having pretty decent starts. All the teams are predicted would do well. Asia, 2-3. Spain 0-2, UK 0-2, Austria 1-4. I think I had them a little higher as well. And then also Latin America just 1-1. A lot of these teams are actually not performing up to the standard, like not having the best start that they'd want. But that being said, they've only played a few games apiece, right? So we'll see how things really change. After this weekend, there should be crazy standing updates because if you guys want to catch these games live, go to the World Cup of Qualifying spreadsheet on the forum thread and then press the tab at the bottom that says scheduling. As you can see, there's going to be a ton of games this weekend. So if you're ever just chilling on Smog Tours, watching, I guess, Smog Tour, the tournament, you might be able to catch some of these World Cup games as well. And I don't know, there's been so many bangers lately that I've been very impressed, and I feel like I want to cover a lot of these games. So if I'm around, I'll definitely try to catch some of these live. There is a game in 27 minutes. If it's shiced, I'll upload it. If you don't see it uploaded, then you know it's not shiced. It is what it is. But thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I will catch you for the next one. Peace.